Morning. So we got Shell coming Tuesday of next week in a bus with about 15 or 16 people for a site visit. They're going to do some meetings in the office in there. Versatech's going to be involved. So basically, from what I can gather, man, it's just to talk about grooming our relationship with Shell and some upcoming work and how we can do things better than we did for them this past year. And just in terms of work, we've done a lot of work for Shell last year. We're going to do a lot of work for Shell this year. This girder in here is for Shell. So important client to us. And again, I like to run on the notion that we don't have to do a lot of prep time because somebody's coming over here. But I'm a firm believer that it always helps us out if we do a little bit of prep time before somebody comes here. So bear that in mind because a couple of things will take place and Tuesday is going to be upon us before we know about it. We've, over the past few years, at least one time a year, rolled out Shell's life-saving rule. And we're going to send that out today. And each one of you, in your morning meetings on Monday, y'all cover the life-saving rules. Just to go over them, they're not in any way vague. They're all things that we hear all the time that Shell, going back about 5 years ago, continued to have, Shell's a worldwide company, continued to have fatalities and decided to get a little bit more serious about some of the things that were causing these fatalities. One of them being cell phones and people talking on cell phones while driving vehicles. I think brought about 5 or 6 fatalities in 1 year to see them. So we'll go over those on Tuesday. You don't have to know them verbatim. You already know them. You just don't know them as Shell's rules. You just know them as rules to live by. Don't talk on a cell phone while you're driving. Have fall protection on if you're working over 6 feet. If a permit's required, have the permit in place. If we need the gas-free, gas-free. It's all things that we already know. So that'll be an important visit to us, fellas. What we're going to do is map out a route on the yard. They want to take the bus through the yard. And so we're going to take them down the middle of the yard, turn around on the new property. I'm assuming they're going to want to come into the shop. I suggested to Chris Steinmetz that if they want to come in here and look at this iron, that we would just notify you guys and shut down the work. Shouldn't be any more than 10 minutes. Let them stroll through here and look at what they want to look at, and then we'll let you guys get back to work. So, any questions about that? All right, moving right along. I put a hazard assessment on there, and I think Big John showed me a picture in here of a crane incident that was actually at the park down there in Lafitte a couple of days ago. And we did a 2-crane test yesterday over here. And, you know, thinking about it, there's some things that we do that, again, I think we get a little casual in because we've been doing them for years. We understand what we're doing. But we always have to understand with anything that we're doing that there's something that might come to see us, and we have to be prepared for that. So they were actually coming down off of mats with the crane, from what I understand, and didn't have the boom at the right angle. And it looks like it probably shot back across the cab backwards or did a slingshot and crumbled going forward. I'm not sure which one, but pretty ugly to look at. No one was hurt. But bear that in mind, fellas, when we're doing these lifts over here, when we're dealing with iron that's as heavy as it is, you need to be far enough away where when it does happen, and we can't plan for the things that are going to happen that we don't know about, but we can plan to not have anybody impacted by them. And so maybe we're looking at some damaged equipment, which at the end of the day is not good either, but it's better than somebody that's gotten hurt over here. So continue to do that for one another. We talked about the safety management system and the quality management system, and at some point or another they will merge together because they're so much alike. And, what we talked about on Wednesday in our meeting dealt with people taking it personally. when mistakes are found. And we saw the same thing with the safety management system. Somebody would tell somebody that you don't have your safety glasses on, and it might be met with "wait till I catch you not doing something." That's totally the wrong way to carry a program like this, fellas. It's about improving what we do, and that's all it's about. No one over here due to an NCR, or no one over here due to an accident lost their job, been slapped, been knocked down, anything. We try and work with everybody over here. So keep that in mind. It's about improving what we do. And as we said with the ISO, improving gets harder the better you get. You know, if we were in a total state of disarray and having accidents every day, it'd be real easy to improve that program. But as you get better, it gets harder. So we're going to continue to find things, and we're going to continue to note gaps, and we're going to continue to work on them. And unfortunately, in most cases, they're going to be tagged to someone. Again, it's not to find blame with a person. It's to find where the gap is and correct it where we don't continue to have the gap. Everybody got that? Pretty easy, fellas. Pretty easy. Pay attention to what you're doing. Follow the policies and procedures, and we should be in good shape. And typically what we see is when we're not, something else got in the way of us getting it done the right way. And unfortunately, some of the things that come to see us, and one of them that's seeing us right now in Sabine is pretty nasty. They've got those girders raised up in the wrong place on the VV10,000. You know, those girders are huge. And they left here labeled girder 1 and girder 2, and things can happen. So high risk, high impact work to get the girders up there. Got to do it again. And we need to get away from that, and we're working toward it. So just continue to cooperate with the programs. What y'all got, fellas?
Hey, Brett, speaking about that, truck drive yesterday, sitting there over the safety glass and all that thing, safety glass, and all the time, you got a lot of you got safety glass, you know, you might not have no car, slow the truck, but
when we're out on the yard, you need to have them on. And it's a matter in most cases, fellas, of just forget. I've walked out of my office without a hard hat on. Somebody tells me. Somebody tells me real damn quick. So it's a matter of we're human and we forget, man. We've got our mind on other things. So be damn thankful that you got somebody next to you that's willing to help you out in your mind. In most cases, most people are, and you know, it's been met with some resistance with some people, and we have to deal with that. Not everybody's having a wonderful day every day, so keep that in mind as well. But a lot of times, the way you approach someone, they're going to come back at you the same way. So if you do it with some tact, we're going to be okay. Who else?
Hey Brad, we starting to stand up these webs and Jersey. I think we need to start paying attention a little bit more of our surroundings. I picked up a couple of lines that were just loose laying around. That could be potential hazards, tripping or something, get hit your head or whatever. You know?
If we finish working in an area in the shop right now and you can roll up your stuff, it needs to be done before you move on to what you're doing next. The shop's getting tighter. In the areas that we're walking through need to be kept as clean as they can. I know we're going to have lines running across the ground, but the way things are laid out right now, and I'm looking right beside you there, if somebody tripped and hit the corner of that beam right there with their head, we got a big problem. So understand what you're dealing with in here and remove the hazards as they can be removed. Certainly eliminating them is the best thing to do, but when you finish working in an area, get that area cleaned up. Make it conducive for people to walk through and not have to worry about tripping.
Brad, with the girder beams, what we're talking about, that press air system, we got the bags ordered. They should be here today. If not, I'm going to call in on them. And also, we have 800-foot string light ready anytime they're ready to put it in.
Okay.
So maybe a good idea to put it in before you get it closed up.
Yeah, I don't know in terms of when will we start capping off on it?
Probably next week.
Next week at some point or another, we'll have it capped off. So what Tony's talking about is we've got the ducting material ordered to get some ventilation run all the way through it, and we've got string lights to put in there where you can see. To my knowledge, the only process that'll take place in there is welding, right? We will not be getting in there with a torch. If we have to get in there with a torch, we need to go into a little bit different mode, so let us know where we can get in here and make sure everything's on the up and up.
There's gonna be a closed door.
We're gonna have torches in there?
We're eating a lot.
Okay, that's a different animal right there, and we know the reason, so
Getting out of it.
let us get in on the front end of the JSA process there and make sure that we got all our ducks in a row. You know, the other part of it is make sure we got the right people in there doing the work, and certainly when you're working in that type of situation, make sure that we watching one another in there. You don't just get in the zone and you're not paying attention anymore.
Set up a water cooler in there. When you're in there working, you just don't want to come out of there and get any water to drink.
Well, we don't know, you know, right, and we don't know, it's probably going to start warming up pretty fast here pretty soon, so it doesn't matter how cool it is out here, when you're in there working, it's going to be hot, so, you know, we're going to try and minimize the amount of time that somebody spends in there, and we need to work it right, and we can, we'll get it done. Who else?
I bet my paycheck that them stairways ain't going nowhere, right? Left like that overnight. But to me, it just don't look right, you know? I wouldn't have left them like that. I don't know what y'all think, but I'd have set them down. It just don't look right. It's probably not what happened, you know?
It's left up there for the simple purpose of helping to push the plate down.
Yeah, I know that, I know that. But left overnight unattended is what I'm talking about, huh? So, whatever y'all think, I just think it don't look good.
It's a point well taken, Cooper. You know, and we talked about what could have happened, and you know, they had guys in here last night. I'm sure they were watching and keeping an eye on it. How long does it have to stay that way?
12 hours?
12 hours. So,
Yeah.
is there anything else that could have been done?
Yeah, but you got somebody, you know, to watch it, you know?
Most of the weight is not hanging on a frame. It's balancing itself.
Yeah, again, man, sometimes we're faced with an ugly situation. That's a situation that we're faced
It's
with.
not like you can walk under that.
But we need to talk about these things, and that's a good point. So if we had to leave them up there and we had a real big concern, we'd barricade around that area where you couldn't get close enough to it if something happened, right? So, you know, there's always another little step that can be taken when you're unsure about something. So that's food for thought next time. And, you know, something like this will come see us again, I'm sure. Who else? Again, that's something that it may have passed muster here a couple of weeks ago and been used and been out on a job, and then the customer finds what we didn't find. So that's a good job on catching it, and that's why we inspect everything before we use it.
Right. It's starting to get warm now, so before you get in your machines, we've been having visitors, which is the insects, it's the wasps and the bees and everything. So before you put yourself in harm's way, check underneath there, because if you get any kind of cover hole where you can't see them, it's a bad bite or it's sting.
Good spots for them, behind the seats, under the seats. Y'all know we get spiders out the wazoo. So take a little time, man, dust off your seat, kind of make a little noise and clear a good path.
preheat crack. Came in here yesterday and I saw that there was a rosebud laying there with the eyes wide open. Double check, make sure it's all good. It's not big, but it's big.
Rosebuds are an issue, and we've had some issues with them. So that's why it's real important when we're working in a confined area like that, man, and we're bringing gas lines in there to understand, man, that you need to do the right thing in every case. And so make sure you're turning off break time, walking away from your equipment. Make sure your equipment's secure and it's not going to cause us any grief. Anybody else? Got something, Steve?
Yeah, we got Centos here to close up. Any questions on the uniforms? So if you're interested, we'll be in White Trail over here. That way we don't tie up the whole shop since it's only a handful of people. Then we'll hopefully get them in next week, start pulling some measurements on us and get this thing in, get it going.
Hey guys, we have flyers with costs. I'm sure everybody wants to know how much the uniforms cost. So we have some information that we can give you, to help you make a decision. We have donuts in the back. Help yourself, grab yourself something.
Anybody interested in the uniform?